In this video, I'm going to talk about a command line utility, PAC CLI command line utility called as PAC Model Builder. Now, PAC Model Builder is basically a code generator for Dataverse APIs and tables. Now, if you remember in the earlier older days when we used to generate code using CrmSvcUtil.exe, that was a thing whereby we used to generate the stub, we used to generate the information for the code related to the backend table. Now, this is the newer version. So, PAC Model Builder replaces all the earlier CrmSvcUtil.exe tool base. Now it is used to generate early bound .NET classes for Dataverse table. It is used to generate custom messages based on organization service context class. Now let me show you an article. This is a documentation from Learn, Microsoft Learn. So if you see that generate early bound classes, the SDK for .NET. Now here, if you see, now what is the purpose of creating early bound classes for your .NET projects? Now it helps improve code readability and maintainability. It decreases the risk of errors of your code because they provide compile time checking. It improves developer productivity because dev can discover tables, columns, and choice option using IntelliSense. It provides the organization service context class, so you can write Dataverse query using LinkU. So you need not worry about the scaffolding part. You just need to write your query based on your organization's logic or project's logic. Now, if you just scroll down here, you will find use the Power Platform CLI pack model builder command to generate early bound code classes. You can use CrmSvcUtil code generation tool, but for database, Microsoft recommends using pack model builder build command. Now, there is another documentation for pack CLI, specifically pack model builder. It says use the pack model build command to generate early bound .NET classes for Dataverse table, custom messages, and a class that is derived from the organization service context class. So, in short, if you want to do a custom level programming using Dataverse, then it is highly recommended to use pack model builder to generate your scaffolding. And then after you generate that scaffolding, you can write your custom code. Now, let me jump into the presentation. So here, what happens when you run this command? So pack model builder build is the command. Now here, if you see this is the command, it has a lot of parameters. Okay, so first the command is pack model builder build. Now the parameters are dash dash entity name, filter, account, contact. Now here, the first step is you need to specify the entity name, what you want. Now, this is a very important step. Now, if you do not do that, then it will generate the scaffolding for all the table within your Dataverse environment, which you do not want because it might take a long time and it will generate a huge bunch of code. So you need to first filter out and specify what account, what type of table you want for your specific code. Now it can be account, it can be contact, it can be any of your custom entity. So you need to provide that separated by semicolon. Then there is a switch, dash dash generated SDK messages, emit fields classes, emit virtual attributes, and then you can even specify the namespace over here. Okay, so here in the code, if you see here in the code, the namespace is my apps.model, and you specify the out directory. And there is a switch dash dash write settings template file service context name. Now the service context name, even you can customize that. You can specify I want to use org context or organization context or orcon or something like that. Also there is another switch for message names filter. Now if you see dash dash message names filter, you have specified that it should start with examp underscore and then star. Anything which is related to examp starts with that underscore, then you filter that out. So whenever you run this command, make sure that you specify the switch entity names filter and message name filter so that you filter out the code well before this code gets executed. Okay, and once you do that, then the scaffolding will get generated. Okay, now what things gets generated, what all it generates. So if you see over here, it says code written to this particular location. Okay, so it has the table name, so account.cs and contact.cs. So it will create an equivalent C# code for your table. So if you have 5 table, it will generate 5 CS files specifying the table name details. Now, what are the option set? Now, the option set present in that specific entity will be listed, like say uh, data state, service category, phone type, designation, contact type. So all this thing will get specified in the CS file, and also you will have or context and entity option set enum.cs. So like this, your scaffolding gets generated. Now, once you open this file in VS Code, you will see various things. So if you open the builder settings.json file here, this is like a, I'd say kind of a manifest file or like a settings file. So it will have a JSON format, and it will specify what kind of language this code is in, what is the namespace, what is the or context name, and various other parameter what you specified in the code will be displayed over here. Now, second file is the table file. So the table file will have its own constructor. It will have its own enum, which you can readily use to program further. If you want to write some sort of a plugin, or if you want to write some sort of a service, then you can ready-made use this functionality, and then it will give you a good starting point. Or context, now again it will generate a partial class, and it will inherit from Microsoft.xrm.sdk.client.organization service context. So you need not even remember the attribute or the class or the namespace, or put a constructor around it. It will give you the scaffolded code. Similarly, for all the options set, it will generate a like a static function, and then it will have those validation internal to that specific code. Now here, if you see option set data state, it has two options, default and retain. And if you see service subcategory, it has checking, savings, credit card, and all those along with the specified internal number as well. Okay, which which is like kind of an identifier for that specific entry. So so this is all about this command line. So let me just go into the command line and then run that command. Okay, now before you even run that command, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the code from PAC model builder. Okay, so if you see over here, PAC model builder, in the example they have given this simple example. Okay, so I'll just copy this code and I'll put it in notepad, and we'll just dissect this information. So this is the code which we have copied, and this is a duplicate code. Now pack model builder build, and these are the parameters. So first you specify entity names filter, then you put generated SDK message switch, message name filter, entity fields classes, emit virtual attributes, namespace, you specify the namespace, you specify the out directory, you specify the right setting template file, and you specify the service context name, right? So this is how you basically uh, decipher this information. Okay, so this is the command, and you specify the entity name. Now here it's account and contact, generate SDK message, and also the output directory. Now in my case, the output directory should go to C test. Okay, so I'll make this change. So I'll just say put it in C test, and I'll just remove the other part. Okay, C test, and rest all is fine. I will name the context name as say organization context. Now you can keep it as it is, or you can just put organization. And in the namespace, if you want to use your company's name instead of using my apps, I'll just call it as Girish apps dot model. Okay, now this is the code. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this code now. Okay, now I'll go to the PowerShell, and I'll first check whether I have pack installed or not, pack CLI, and yes, it is installed. The version number is 1.32, so I'm good to go. Now what I'm going to do, I'll just paste this command. Okay, the moment I paste this command, it will connect to your environment. Make sure your environment is correctly pointing, or you use the pack auth select command to point to the correct environment. Now in my case, I have connected to the Girish prod environment, and that's why you see over here it's connected to Girish prod environment, and it has started reading all those information from the server. So it has read 10 SDK messages, global option set. It has read two entities, and it has started writing code. Okay, so it has generated this code. Now, if you want to see what code it has generated, you need to navigate to the specific path, so which is C test. Okay, so let's jump into this. So C test, this is the folder, and it has generated this particular folder. So what it has folders, entities, so list of entities, list of option sets, and JSON file and CS file. Okay, let's open this in VS Code. So I have VS Code opened over here. So I'll go to VS Code, open folder, specify the path, C test, and I'll say select the folder. Now the code will be opened in VS Code. Now first let's look into the entities folder, account.cs. Now if you see the code here, account.cs, it has generated a code, and it will specify that this code was generated by a tool, and it has used the model name which you have specified, Girish apps.model. So if you see the code here, we have specified namespace as Girish apps.model. Similarly, the organization context is, instead of org context, I have selected organization context. So if you scroll down, you see that it has nicely generated the scaffolded component, and you can start placing your code. If you want to make any changes, then you can make those changes over here. So it has everything. It has got an enum, it has got uh, uh, like a attributes of serialization, data contract attribute, and for everything. Like if you see, all these things are like an option set available within a specific entity. For in account case, you have this one called as account address one shipping method code, and it has nicely mentioned what is the name, what is the value for it. If you navigate to contacts, same thing happens for contact. It has built a whole bunch of set, and if you scroll down further, you will see partial class of fields. Okay, so all this field for the contacts, instead of you manually specifying, it has automatically generated for you by looking into that backend Dataverse table. So it has put a constant string, it has put the value in double quotes, and then if you scroll down, so see the column. If you have done this manually, it would have taken ages, but with this scaffolded component, it has done this in a fraction of second. Now, option set. So if I go into the option set, there is one option set called as a Power Pages languages.cs. Now here, if you see the option set, now whatever languages are available for that specific environment, it is listed over here along with the language code. Okay, so if you see over here, it has all the languages available for your specific environment along with the specific code. Now there is a settings.json file which gets generated, which will allow you to use like a it's like a configuration information. It will specify what language are you using, like C sharp, what is the namespace, what are the generated SDK messages, like whether do you want the generated SDK messages, it's true, generate global option set is false, emit fields classes is true. Now from where all these values are coming, so if you see emit field classes is true, if you see the code what you have written, like the command which you have written, you say dash dash emit fields classes, so that means you have turned on that switch. Okay, and that's why it is set to true. Now if you see generate global option sets, if you do not see over here, that means you haven't specified it. Okay, then we have service context name. Now this also we have made a change. We are, instead of org context, we have used organization context. Also for entity name field as account context. So basically this is kind of a summarized information of the command which you have typed. Okay, so if you see 1:1 correspondence between the command, and so this is what you have specified by running the PAC model builder build command. Okay, entity option set enum, so this is like a summarized entity option set enum for your specific entities which you have selected, or the tables which you have selected, so you can find the list over here. Organization context, now this is the main class through which you can write your custom code over here, and you can run a link you query to execute the code. So it has got all the placeholders, and Microsoft has given a nice commenting as well. It says gets a binding to the set of all entities. and then specifies if you want to write something on the constructor, if you want to write something on the binding. So everything is already provided. You just need to start writing your code and stop worrying about what was the schema, what was the data type, what was the available component within that table set or the relationship. Okay, so that's it, folks. This is all about executing command pack model builder build command. Now this command is mainly will be mainly used by developer, and it is a replacement for the older set of tool, which was like I mentioned over here. It was for CrmSvcUtil.exe. So if you are programming from a Dataverse perspective, make sure that you use this command to generate the scaffolded component. Thanks for watching.